Hi, I'm Lance. Welcome to my channel. Uh, in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about why I wanted to start a YouTube channel, and then also give you 3 reasons to read Palaver. There's the R. Palaver by Bryan Washington. So first off, this is called Off-Duty Prof because that's my day job. So these videos are going to be made in my off-duty time when I'm not being paid to grade papers or work with community college students here in Hawaii on their writing. Um, when I'm working, I teach composition, basic writing, and creative writing at a community college here. And then, so I think I'm thinking that this might be a fun second sideline. My first main sideline is doing writing things. I have a writing project that I'm pretty seriously involved in. But I love watching booktube videos so much, and it's just kind of motivating and helpful for me to listen to other people sharing their thoughts on what they've read and what they're working on too, but often mostly just what they've read. That I wanted to give this a try as a second hobby. So what you can expect, short form are what you can expect of short form videos like this on some number of reasons to do things, or on around some other shortish format, and then also I'll be talking about works that are either literally short. So Palaver is a short novel, I think, including the acknowledgments. It's 320 pages, and then I think I also would want to uh, have some content about literally short, um, you know, poems, stories, even shorter things. And then, if so, mostly excluding doorstops, but if there's ever a doorstop that I feel super motivated to make a video about, then I think it would have to be a doorstop whose reading experience feels very speedy. Okay, so again, 3 reasons to read Palaver by Bryan Washington. Reason number 1 is that it's very transporting. So Palaver is one of Bryan Washington's novels that is set both in Texas and in Japan, Houston, and um, and I'm trying to remember exactly, but Houston and Texas for sure, and then some mix of Osaka and other cities, maybe Tokyo, in Japan. And the book does a great job. He does a great job in all of his books, and in this book in particular, of really transporting the reader there, and doing so in a way where we're having the opportunity to explore these places and these settings, kind of by following along, not primarily with people who are super well integrated there, who have grown up their entire life there, but who uh, are still adjusting, or maybe they're brand new to the place, or they felt like they didn't belong for some set of reasons and they had to leave. Um, and so the place where the narrator had to leave is Houston, on the one hand, and the place where he is chosen to make his new life is Japan. But in Japan, we are also kind of following along with his mom, who at the beginning of the novel has received a kind of concerning call from him, after having spent, several years not really communicating all that much. And she's decided that she is going to get on a plane from Houston and go to Japan. It's a very, very long plane ride, as you can imagine. And so, especially in the beginning of the book, she is getting lost and she doesn't know anyone, and, feels as though she is kind of standing out a little bit. Um, and not, the typical not fitting in thing, sort of magnified by the situation where she hasn't um, gone there on vacation necessarily. So yeah, reason number one is it's nicely transported. And for me, where I am is Hawaii. I'm from Hawaii. I grew up here, and then aside from a few years when I was going to school, I've pretty much always been here. So part of this channel's content and commentary is going to be, kind of shaped by that and colored by that a lot. Um, but as for the locations in this book, I have sort of coincidental overlap with the locations because I went to college in Houston, so I spent a bit of time there. And then as a travel location, I've been going to Japan kind of more recently, just out of personal interest, but also because I have family there now. My brother moved his family, and so to Japan sort of right outside Tokyo. Well, in a suburb that's near Tokyo, I guess is the accurate way to put it. Um, and so, and also I'm half Japanese, so I have some amount of just baked in interest in Japan as a place. And then also in the language, I took Japanese language in school. So um, from anyway, I've been going to Japan more recently, and spent a good amount of time, or well, some not super small amount of time in Houston, so I can report back just from personal experience that the rendering of Japan and how Houston is recreated, how the world of Houston is built in the novel. Those work real well, really well in Palaver. Reason two. One of the reasons why I wanted to make this video now in early July 2026. I don't know when you're watching this, but one of the reasons, aside from the fact that I've been thinking about just trying this out for a while, is we just finished Pride Month, and I thought my goal had was to try to get this video recorded during Pride, but since I'm off duty, this is summer vacation. The overall kind of feel and habits of summer vacation have set in, and so I missed the deadline, and I'm totally fine with it. But this is a great book to read to extend your feeling of having Pride Month, even now that it's over. Or, whenever you're watching this, we can have Pride all year long. Um, and not just because the main romance is a gay one, and because the narrator is queer, and because the author also is, but because I think it's um, as a queer book, it really does a great job of kind of reflecting two, well, more than two, but reflecting two kind of major and I think majorly interesting um, kinds of bonds between the characters that I think is a nice thing to read about for Pride or during Pride, slightly after Pride is over, and the sort of parental the bond between a child and a parent, or a son and a mother on the one hand, and then romantic bond on the other. And this book does a really great job, especially kind of exploring how and when and whether those different sorts of bonds can be tested or strained. Um, if you're fortunate, and I personally am very fortunate in who my parents are. If you're fortunate and you're queer, um, there's maybe you've experienced very little strain in your family situation or family relationships. Um, but I think it's pretty commonly understood that for queer people, there can be some small or not small amount of strain between you and your loved ones, your family members, your parents, um, as you have to, when you renegotiate after you come out, renegotiate what your relationship is and what you want it to be. Maybe no renegotiation is necessary, but um, often enough it is, right? And in the case of our narrator, that renegotiation is has been pretty painful and drawn out and kind of difficult to get to a next better stage from this period of having to work it out. So there's that, and then his lover, um, they've had ups and downs as well, and his lover's not single himself. So all of that is, very engaging, very kind of lovingly and artfully rendered, written, and created in the book. Reason number two, it's a great pride read for how well the characters are written and how um, meaningfully their relationships with each other are presented. And then one final reason, it's sort of a silly reason, but um, I think an under discussed genre of book is the non graphic novel that has visual elements, intentional and conscious, conspicuous visual elements. Throughout Palaver, Bryan Washington has included his own photography, and I think this is just a very nice kind of small thread of literary patronage or parentage rather of lineage to sort of if that's not something that you are already attuned to start attuning yourself to. um it's not only in prose and in novels that we have this. Here's Claudia Rankine's Don't Let Me Be Lonely, which pairs the images with the poetry really well. Here's Max Frisch, Man in the Holocene, which is a fun book, sort of dictionary, encyclopedia entries in there. Here's someone most people think of as a main practitioner of the mixing of images with the narrative, Sebald. And then here's a book I really like, Sheila Heti in Motherhood. But there's so a lot of really different writers working in images and visuals uh, in a conscious, intentional way, in a skillful, artful way. Or I think I just in a, just want to be silly and say the third reason to read Palaver is that it has pictures. Um, okay, if you're still watching, thank you. Um, I hope to make more of these videos, uh, and that they might, I don't know, be okay or not displeasing to read or listen to watch or listen to. If you have any comments or questions or you know burning thoughts that you want to be addressed or to be seen by me, I don't know if I can. Anyway, the theme of the off duty is still going to apply in terms of audience interaction if there ever is one. But yeah, thanks for watching, and hope you watch the next one too.